All right. Monday morning quarterback so far this season. And obviously we're going to go into that. But as always, I start out with my Giants. You know, they had the pleasure of playing the Washington football team on Thursday night. You know, and I don't know what to say because it honestly could be almost like game of the week for me. It's just I can't do it because my team lost and how they lost. It's just so, and it's just exactly what the Giants have done season after season is they lose these games where all sometimes it comes down to is just converting a first down.
Mm-hmm.
Convert a first down on that play after that Bradbury interception. They pretty much can win the game. I mean, it would take more time off the clock. I would be more happy with the touchdown, obviously, not having to settle for a field goal.
Man.
But, you know, just so many missed opportunities. You know, the Slayton drop, the holding call, which everybody called questionable. I understand why the refs called it. It did, but I could understand why if they wouldn't have called it, I would have been okay with it too. You know, which negated, I think it was a 56-yard run by Daniel Jones, who, by the way, had one of his best, like a career game.
I try to tell you guys, man, the kid is talented. It takes time. It takes time.
Yeah.
Losing that game was only inexcusable for two reasons. One, you always have to be aggressive on fourth down, that close to your end zone. You just have to.
I agree.
You just have to. You have to. You know, it's one of those sink or swim moments. And the other reason why it was unforgivable is you lost on a special teams play when your head coach is a special teams specialist.
Yep.
And the guy that went off sides isn't the guy that's on the edge. So you're like, oh, maybe he's just trying to get a step. He's in a position where ultimately you're kind of rendered useless. Once they kind of ruled out that you can't jump over, you can't lunge over, all your job to do is to try to push your guy back.
Mm-hmm.
So you trying to get a head start was just like, I don't understand. Just don't move.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you've caught this, but so the Giants are protesting it, you know, and somebody had slowed down the replay. I mean, super slow mo. Well, I shouldn't say super slow mo. I'll get to that in a minute. They slow mo the replay, and on a slow mo replay, they actually move when the ball is snapped. They move at the almost exact same time as when the ball is snapped. Mm-hmm. If you slow-mo it even more, you can see that he, by a fraction, moves, doesn't move forward, doesn't cross the plane, but flinches. So if it takes like super slow-mo for him to see that he went off sides, I don't know if that was a blown call, if that was the right call, but at the same time, on replay, on super slow-mo replay, he does move. So, like I said, there's two types of replay that somebody broke it down. It's one where they just slowed it down, just slow down a little bit, and it almost looks as if he moves like he timed it perfectly. But then when you break it down, you even slow-mo it even more. I think that was the NFL's case. You can see he moves by a fraction, which I don't know if that's enough. But either way, yes. So special teams hurt them. Mm-hmm. You know. The false starts on consecutive downs that hurt them. And how do you come out of a timeout? Right? It was a timeout, right?
Yeah.
And then they get a delay of game. How do you come out of a timeout and not get set? And then you take a delay of game.
I will always say, I've been told numerous times that, you know, it depends on the situation. I never, as a head coach, would ever be okay with a false start.
Yeah.
And the reason why is we practice our snap count. You know our snap count. You know I didn't say hike. I don't care how loud the crowd is. You know I didn't say anything. You didn't hear me say anything. So when you moved, what were you moving for? I said, did you notice no one else moved?
Yeah.
You saw no other teammates move. To me, it's unforgivable. It's a cardinal sin. Don't do it. I don't care how loud it is. We practice for that. For example, I only know this because it's my team and I follow them. Bill Belichick every week in practice blast music, right? So it's the sound of like what a stadium would be.
Yeah.
And the whole point is to prepare the offensive line and the offense to not have false starts, to not let the loud noise, crowd their judgment from when the quarterback says something. So to me, I'm never okay with that. A false start, like, what are you in a rush to do? I didn't even hike the ball. Where are you running to?
Exactly.
So to me, it's just don't do it. And if the fact that you guys did it numerous times, practice it.
Yeah.
That needs to be. It's just like in basketball. If you can't make your free throws, you can't leave the gym till you hit a certain amount of free throws every single practice.
No, I agree. Look, and like I said, it's mental mistakes. For the most part, they handled the Washington defense pretty well. They did. I think Jones got sacked 4 times, I believe. They came away with 4 sacks. But look, he didn't turn the ball over, and I think that's what it comes down to. So I think on that drive where you and I both agree 100% that you need to be more aggressive, and they went on the ground, but they went on the ground with Saquon Barkley. If you take that 40-something yard run away, he had like 2.2 yards a carry. He wasn't moving the ball. He had that one home run, and that was it. Jones had almost 100 yards. If you want to run the ball, you want to keep the ball on the ground, do a couple of more RPOs, do another run play option, But I think what it comes down to is they're afraid. They didn't trust him. They're like, wait a minute, we're almost in the red zone. Do we want Jones to cough up the ball again? And obviously they threw on 3rd down, but what was Judge's he said we wanted Washington to use their 3 timeouts. So we wanted to run the ball. I get it, but I think there were better ways and there were better plays. And it also might be Garrett's fault. It might be the way Garrett calls the game.
I'm going to be honest. As someone who plays Madden religiously, I always go for the touchdown.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You go for the touchdown, and then you just pray your defense can make a stop.
Well, that's the other thing, too, Jawan. That's the other thing, too. And I'm glad you brought that point up. Going for the field goal not only puts distrust in your quarterback, but it puts way too much trust on a defense that just gave up 30 points.
Yep.
The defense has proved that they can't stop this team. Heineke drove 17 seconds down the field. I think they went 90 yards. 90 yards in 17 seconds.
Yep.
I think that was when they took the 27 to 20. What was it? 27-26 lead or something like that. I think something like that. But it's just, how do you do that? I don't know that.
To me, like I said, it was not a flawless game, and you still were within an inch of a movement from winning that game.
Yeah.
I mean, he completely woofed that kick. He woofed it.
I screamed my heart out when he missed it. Yes. And then I felt like an asshole because I saw the flag. I was like, no. I screamed yes and no at the same time.
I know they will never do this, and this is going to sound super stupid to your audience, but I've always been of the mindset if the last second field goal kick results in a penalty that's not roughing the kicker or anything like that, if it's offsides, it should just be a replay of the kick. Like if they had nailed the kick, obviously you accept it, you go home. I mean, you decline it, you go home, you got to win. But I don't think a false start offsides on a last second kick should result in giving the kicker more yards to nail that kick. I feel as though he should just get a replay of it, kick it. Go ahead. Now you just kick it again. I know to a lot of people, they're going to say, well, if it's my team, I want the sure kick.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just saying, to me, we've seen kickers today miss more. Well, no kickers miss more than that. Do you remember that one season where it's like no one's kicker could make a field goal?
Was it last season or 2 seasons ago?
No. This was maybe right after the replacement refs year. And it was the highest year that teams had went for 2 points because kickers they were god awful. It was like a plague had hit.
Was that the year that they changed the no, because that's not a field goal is wherever you are. I don't know. Why is that?
They were horrible. So teams were just like, no one's hitting the extra point.
Actually, you know what? You bring up another good point, though.
2 points.
You brought up another good point about going for 2. There was I can't remember the series, but there was another thing that Joe Judge was with people questioned why they didn't go for 2 at one point. And I forgot the series. They obviously scored a touchdown and they kicked the extra point. But there was I was watching ESPN, I think, and ESPN said at that moment, why didn't you go for 2?
again, the guy was just not aggressive that
Yeah.
entire game. If he wasn't going to go for it on fourth when you really needed that first down, I can see how he's just going with the safe thing. It's what he did.
No, the fourth down I'm all right with. I'm going for the field goal at that point because you didn't convert. I'm all right with. I understand what you're saying, and we're going to get to probably a game in a little bit where on 4th and 1 another team did go for it with big balls there. And they just played aggressive, and that's why they won the game. But other than that, dude, like I said, the Slayton drop, it was a culmination of bad mistakes, bad penalties, both on the defense and on the offense. It was just bad. It was just bad all around, but another takeaway, and I said this last week, and I'm just going to say it again because he added to it. The offense looks damn good. It does for the most part. So I don't know if this is something they're going to build on. Look, we have an extra game this season. We're still playing in a pretty weak division, probably my argument may be the weakest. So, I'm not really sure, but I think it does. Maybe there's one other division that's weak, but I think this is probably one of the weakest. So there's plenty of football to play. They lost by 1 here. They're not getting blown out, I mean, they lost by a couple of touchdowns to Denver, but I think they're trending in the right direction. And I really hope they pick up this momentum and they bring it to, against Atlanta, who also had almost a good comeback until they were shut down. But, that being said, I gotta praise Daniel for the couple of games that he has given us. There have been positives, even in these 2 losses, and I just hope they build upon it. But, all right. So that being said, we've had some really good games this week. So I don't know if you were able to pick just one, and that's why I'm glad I said if you want to mention an honorable mention, you can. But Jawan, if you got to pick one game of the week, where are you going?
I am going Chiefs and Ravens. My honorable mention would be Giants and Washington.
Okay, yeah.
It was a nail biter. Both quarterbacks played great.
Yeah.
The defenses, not so much. Quite like Baltimore and Kansas City. Defenses played well when they needed to. Getting that fumble against Kansas City, if you're Baltimore,
big.
You couldn't have prayed for a luckier moment in that game. And then, like you said, Lamar Jackson and SportsCenter had released it either early this morning or late last night of John Harbaugh running on the field and going, "Do you want to go for it?" And Lamar was like, "Hell yeah!" And he's like, "All right, do your thing." And Lamar ran it in for that first down. I still don't understand how he didn't get a taunting for spiking the ball.
Yeah.
But that's just petty me. But no, that game was amazing. It was amazing, and it shows you that as great, transcendently great as that Chiefs offense is, their Achilles heel has been and will forever be that very shaky defense. The fact that they could not get this win, and Ravens have lost almost every good cornerback they have. Literally every last one. It's why Travis Kelce ran for like a 40-yard touchdown on these high school cornerbacks.
Yeah, I mean, he plowed through them as well. Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
he plowed through them.
100%. So to me, this was the game of the week. Big for Lamar Jackson, who was 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes till that win. So that's a big confidence booster because I do believe the AFC runs through Arrowhead. And if Lamar can do it now, Lamar maybe can do it again sometime in January.
Yeah, and this also was Mahomes' first interception in the month of September.
Yep.
A lot of things happen, and look, I know the Chiefs defense obviously gave up. They gave up the game. They gave up a lot of points, but at the same time, they also intercepted him twice, and it was the same player. Was it Matthew? What?
Tyrod Matthew.
Yeah. It's Matthew, right? I just wanted,
Yeah.
So he got 2 interceptions off of Jackson, who didn't play that well in the first half, but then he did more on the ground than he did in the air. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. So Lamar did what he could. That was Lamar. Lamar won. Lamar Jackson won the game for them. And let's be honest. And, last week I said I labeled him as overrated. And the reason being, and I'm not taking away talent, because obviously the guy has talent, but maybe I meant I probably should have said I feel like the Ravens as well are overrated because they never went the step beyond. I know they won the Super Bowl. They just won the Super Bowl a few years ago. I know that. But when it came time for Lamar to shine in the playoffs, he just didn't do it. And that was his Achilles heel, was in the playoffs. So that's the only reason why. But this season might be different. Look, they proved they could beat the Chiefs. It was a good win, but at the same time, I agree with you. I feel like the AFC's got to go through Arrowhead if they want to make it with, to the big show.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No,
I was just going to say, I did want to say, I think putting, and it's not you, obviously television does this all the time. The media does this. Putting pressure on star players about postseason, I think is a bit overrated. And I say that because I think we forget as fans of football, Peyton Manning only has 2 rings.
Yeah.
So that means outside of 2 seasons, Peyton Manning lost every single playoff appearance that he had. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Look at Dan Marino. Look at guys like Dan Marino.
Right. So
no, I agree.
All I'm saying is Lamar is super young. If Lamar was maybe 32, 33, I would say, all right, it's getting to the point where it's like your legs aren't going to work forever. You don't even have the best arm. Maybe now we can officially say your career that people have made this big thing is overrated. But for him to be as young as he is, he's going to have a few bumps. It's all about what he does going forward. But to me, we've just seen too many all-time great quarterbacks only make it to the dance 1, maybe 2 times.
Yeah.
And actually win it. So to me, Lamar will get there. Lamar will get there. I think the biggest reason why a lot of people do think Lamar is overrated is we've seen a better version of Lamar with Patrick Mahomes. So we're like, well, we know what you can be. That's what Patrick is.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Jimmy G went to a Super Bowl. So it's like, yes, he does have a lot to live up to getting that MVP. But to me, I think he'll get there. I think he'll for sure get there. For sure.
Okay, I agree. Like I said, he's got the talent, and he's on. The Ravens are a decent team. They are. If they beef up that defense a little bit more, if they tighten it up a little bit more, that's a scary team.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it is. All right. So my game of the week, and could be the surprise of the week. I'm not really sure if I want to keep it as my surprise of the week too, but it's the Titans edging the Seahawks in overtime.
That was my surprise.
Yeah, I mean. King Henry, shows you what he is. Last week was an anomaly. Hopefully, he's back. But I also said that Seahawks defense was questionable, and that's the reason why I went against them last week. Was because I felt I didn't know what to expect from that Seahawks defense. I really didn't. Wilson's Wilson. And having DK and Lockett and all the other weapons he has, great. But that defense is atrocious. But oh man. That was I only really watched bits and pieces of that game, but watching all the highlights and just watching, like I said, watching Henry take over like he did, and yeah. So I'm not going to keep that as my surprise of the week. I don't want to do that. I feel like that's lazy, but definitely game of the week because that was obviously a much needed win for the Titans, but oh wow, just great football. Like I said, it was so many close games, and it was really hard to pick one. But I gotta go. I gotta go with King Henry and the Titans winning in overtime. And the guy nearly had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I still think the Bears and the Seahawks will forever live to regret not making a deal to get Russell Wilson out of there.
Yeah,
that was a game Seahawks should have easily won. They were up 2 touchdowns, and then, as usual, Russell Wilson's running for his life because that offensive line is horrible. And the defense was bend but don't break, and then just started breaking. Julio Jones is a monster. Derrick Henry is a monster. And we got to start putting more respect on Ryan Tannehill's name.
Yeah.
Matt Vrabel literally revived this man. You know what I'm saying? And Ryan Tannehill went out there and he won that game. Obviously, like you said, off the shoulders of Derrick Henry. But that's a great 1-2 combo. Ryan Tannehill is not, and I repeat, is not a clock management quarterback. He is legit. I will air this shit out. I will throw for 400 yards if I need to. So he's not one of those guys that's just going to dink and dunk, get a good field goal, get in good. No, he's a guy that can go get you 40 points if you need it. So yeah, it's time we put more respect on their name. I don't think they're a team to be feared in the AFC because I'm just still not sold on that defense. I don't know if their defense just played really well or if Seattle's offensive line is just putrid. I'm leaning more to the latter, that Seattle's offensive line is just the worst thing ever.
Because they gave up 30 points.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, to me, I don't think Titans need to be feared. They couldn't beat the Ravens. They couldn't beat the Chiefs. I don't think they still can beat either team. But who knows? Derrick Henry could have a Sean Alexander type season and run them right to a Super Bowl. So, who knows?
No, I agree, and I've never not disrespected, but I never felt that Tannehill wasn't legit. Mm-hmm. I do think he is, and I think he proved that last year. I wasn't really with him last year, and when I was breaking down some of the games, and we were talking about the Titans and what they did last year, I believe they won the division that year, right?
Yep.
So I was very unexpected of what Tannehill did, but because I remember Tannehill in his Miami days, and
I remember them very.
That's a big difference, There's a very big difference. So he proves that he's not only not the same quarterback, but it just takes maybe just different settings and just a different team and a different organization with the different offense. So, and he's proven that. All right, he's in that topic of conversation, and I'm leaving it at that. All right, so your surprise is what I just said, right? Is that what you said?
I can pick a different one.
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, that Minnesota game. That Minnesota game was just like
that was an insane game.
That was a complete insane game. And here's my problem. I told you this before. I do not believe in Kirk Cousins.
Right.
At all. No part of me believes in him being an elite quarterback. He's just an average quarterback that happens to put up a lot of what I call empty calories. Because he loses a lot of games. So it's like, all right, you threw 300 yards, but you lost by 2 touchdowns because you threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I watch him, I just say to myself, he's too shaky for me. You know what I'm saying? But Cardinals, we're not talking enough about the Cardinals. I told you how much I believed in the Cardinals. I thought getting Watt was great to pair him up with Chandler Jones, who is just on a tear.
Yeah.
I don't know who did something to Chandler Jones, but you got to say I'm sorry because he's going to take it out on every quarterback.
What did he do in yesterday's game? How did he follow up? Because he had the 5 sacks in the previous week, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me see what he did.
Because, I mean, as far as the defense goes, they did allow 33 points. And also, let's be honest, they won because the Minnesota Vikings lost the last-second field goal.
Yeah.
Vikings had that game. I mean, that's how close that game was. That game was great, and both of these teams battled. And it just came down to a missed field goal. And the Cardinals were fortunate not to go offsides.
DeAndre Hopkins, wow. Moore with 114 yards and a touchdown. But defense, let's see. Budda Baker, you know how much I like Budda Baker.
Yeah, no, I am not questioning that Cardinals defense at all. I know.
Actually, no sacks.
Yeah, I know what a powerhouse that Cardinals defense can be, and they proved it last week. But now they're also proving that their offense can do just the same.
Much damage. I do want to say, because someone might hear, Chandler Jones didn't have any sacks. How was he effective? Mm-hmm. Watching the Jets and the Patriots yesterday, Matt Judon, who we just signed, they triple teamed Matt Judon because one offensive line could not contain him. So it took 3 guys, whether it was a tight end or running back and your offensive lineman, to stop Judon from just living in Zach Wilson's head that entire game. So to me, that's what Minnesota did with Chandler Jones. So it wasn't an off game. It was just that they schemed in a way to make it so he was not as effective. But I'm sure there were probably a lot of quarterback pressures where he was collapsing the pocket and what's his name got it out. But yeah, he didn't have any sacks. So
Yeah, but you bring up a really good point. It's not always about the sack; it's about the pressure. Yeah, you might not get to the quarterback, but if you're getting in his head, or if his release time has to be 2 or a second earlier than he wants to, that's significant. That's very significant. When a defense puts pressure on the quarterback, whether it gets to him or not, or he's like, all right, so you don't have a sack in your stat line,
right.
but hurrying the quarterback when quarterback pressures, even quarterback hits, they're significant. They're very significant.
You know that very well. That NASCAR defense in that 2007 Super Bowl.
Oh,
there was a lot of plays in that Super Bowl. Brady just threw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah.
No one was even near him, but he felt like someone was because they were getting at him at will.
Yep.
Offensive line virtually was not even there.
No.
That to me is how a defender can be very, very helpful. Even if he doesn't get any sacks or strip fumbles or interceptions, just make the quarterback think twice. Make him think the pocket's collapsing. He'll make.
I agree. All right, so I guess my surprise of the week. Now, there's a couple. There was one that I picked to win, but then there's the other one that I didn't. And it's not all right. It's the Bears and Bengals. Now, I'm not. It's not like I'm really surprised that the Bears won. I guess no, I am. I mean, I'm surprised the Bears won, but I'm just surprised the Bengals lost. And what they did, what the defense was able to do, and how they disrupted Joe Burrow, and that offense. And also too, it was a very good game. It was, but I don't know if I want to. It's not like about not congratulating the Bears. But I don't know if I want to jump on that Bears bandwagon like I did last year when they went 5-1 in their first 6 games, and they did it with Trubisky doing horrible. But is this Bears team, is the Bears team that good, or did the Bengals beat themselves? And now obviously what's his face went out with an injury, Dalton.
Yep, with his knee.
And they don't know if he tore anything. They're going to test him out.
No, they said
he's not. Okay, good. So perfect. And we had Justin Fields come in. He didn't really do much, but he had only small sample size anyway. I think he threw an interception though. And remember, this was going to be your pick had Fields been named the starter.
Right.
So what do you mean by that, Robert? Are you saying what I'm saying? Don't be fooled by them, that they're not as good as they are, or they are good, and we should think that they're good? Because, like I said, I can pull out the Bears hoodie I bought last year. It's a really nice hoodie too. It's a big orange one with the big old Bear logo right there in the front. And I was sold on that 5-1 team because I'm sounding like I'm a Chicago Bears fan. Obviously, I'm a Giants fan, but I like when underdogs win. I like when different teams are winning and different organizations are winning. Now, unless it's your team, nobody wants to see the same old teams go to the playoffs every year. It's boring.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know what to make of this win. And I did pick the Bengals to win. I thought Burrow was going to have not a slaughter fest against this team, but I thought they were going to come out winners. So what do you think?
I don't think the Bears are there yet. Yeah, they're definitely not a contender.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I told you there's something Justin Fields brings. But yeah, no, for sure. The Bengals definitely shot themselves in the foot. It's a game that they should have at least won. I mean, when Andy Dalton went out, Fields didn't play the greatest. I don't know what Joe Burrow was doing. You know how much I love Joe Burrow. It's a game they should have won. But the Bears, to me, I don't know, man. They're one of those teams that could surprise you and then could be exactly who you think they are. I haven't heard Khalil Mack's name in forever. Remember his first game as a Bear? Forced fumbles, an interception, touchdown. The man went bananas and then just disappeared. So, I mean, look, if Khalil Mack can get you a sack or two a game, this Bears defense can be really good. And then you just need a quarterback who just won't lose you the game. I think Dalton I think you can make an argument Dalton's the kind of guy that could lose you a game. But to me, they're obviously, no, they're not contenders. But yeah, okay. So I'm going to go with what you asked. Bengals woofed the game. They woofed the game more than the Bears.
And that's what I felt. That's what I felt. I guess my honorable mention, the other game I could have went with too, was the Cowboys defeating the Chargers. And it's not because not because I don't think the Cowboys are a good team. I've already said I think Dak is he's a good quarterback. I think he is. It was unfortunate that he had the season-ending injury last year. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys probably would have won the division had that not happened. I mean, that division was up for grabs anyway. Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. They got the wild card, right? What?
Cowboys? No, Cowboys didn't make the playoffs last year.
The Washington did.
Yeah.
But they won the division, though, to get it. Right, that's right. They weren't going to make a wild card at 7-9. Right.
Remember the Eagles laid down. So
yeah, I just wanted. That's right. I was just reminding myself. Yeah. So I think with a healthy Dak last year, they would have easily won that just horrible division. So not taking anything away from Dak, but I really thought the Chargers were going to handle business. I really did. Especially with how questionable the Cowboys defense was last year. As I said, it was almost similar to the way Seattle was. Where they were scoring the points, but they were giving up more than they were scoring, and that was before Dak went down. And then when they got Dalton, when Dalton came in, it was just forget about it. It was a shit show. But I couldn't believe that, and again, another last second field goal won the game, and I feel bad for Justin Herbert because I know he's a good young quarterback, and I know we can expect greatness from him. Mm-hmm. Either by this year or definitely by the next couple of years. Yeah. I'm not counting them out, but I don't know if yet.
No, he's gonna struggle a lot. Derek Carr is balling. Patrick Mahomes is balling. He's just in a really tough division. He's in probably the toughest division to be a successful quarterback in.
Yeah.
But 2 interceptions, unacceptable.
No, you can't turn the ball over twice. No, you can't.
Not against that Dallas defense.
No.
Their front line is something to be feared, but those corners. I mean, Keenan Allen had 108 yards, no touchdowns. Mm-hmm. You got to work him the ball more. You just got to work him the ball more. You got to give him some 50-50 balls. He's the kind of guy that can go up and get them. I mean, a lot is to be said that they only held the Cowboys at 20 points. After the Cowboys came off of a week where they went toe-to-toe against Tampa Bay.
Yeah. No, I also agree too. That there is something there. You're right. They did hold that offense that was pretty good against a Bucs defense that was supposed to be solid this year.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like you can score on Tampa, but to bring it back to the Chargers, 2 interceptions, ain't gonna get it, Justin. Ain't gonna get it.
Bring it back to Derek Carr for a second. I know we're not talking about that game, and I know it's only 2 games so far, but I think he's on pace to what was that? I forgot what the actual stats were, but he was on pace for over 6,000 yards so far this year. If he goes the rate he's doing. But I said this last week. I said I like Derek Carr. I liked him last year. The way they fell off towards the end of last year had nothing to do with him. They had nothing to do with him. And again, I know it's only 2 games into the season, but they surprised me, especially against the Steelers defense that did damn well against the Bills last week. Mm-hmm. So, and I went Raiders too. And that was before I even seen them play. Remember, they played the Monday night before that.
Yes, they did. Yep.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to go with the Raiders only because I like Derek Carr and I like the weapons he has, whether it's Ruggs or Waller. I really, really like his weapons. Mm-hmm. And he proved it yesterday. He did.
Essentially, he had 2 consecutive game-winning weeks.
Oh, 100%, Robert.
The pass, obviously, he threw in overtime against the Ravens for that
on one leg.
Was a beaut. And then that bomb he threw in this last game, middle of the field, that essentially was the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
But the man has a cannon. I'm not sold on Gruden. I think Gruden will be this team's downfall. But I do think Carr understands this is the year. This is the year where people either go, you're just one of those guys who just throws really well but can never win meaningful games.
Yeah.
Or people will start to put more respect on the future of the Raiders is Carr. rather than should we be looking at someone else moving forward?
They had multiple opportunities to do so, in draft picks, and they stuck with Carr. And I honestly think that was the right choice.
New England actually wanted to go after Carr the year, I think Brady's last year, 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, where the Raiders weren't sure if they were going to keep him, and New England did not have an heir apparent.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to go after Carr. And then the Raiders were like, no, we're going to stick with him. And I'm glad they did, and I'm glad New England went the way that they went. But Carr is, again, I put Carr right up there with Ryan Tannehill. One of those guys that no one really puts respect on, but they can air it out.
Yeah.
They can air it out. They can drop 30 points on you, for sure. And both of these quarterbacks are low turnover guys. They have a tendency to go high on it, but they're not going to lose you the game. And Derek Carr has shown after just 2 weeks, short sample size, but he's shown you that not only can he win, but he can win this division. 100%. He could win this division. So I know we crown the Chiefs, but maybe the Raiders can win this division. Maybe they can.
Yeah. When is I'm trying to look forward. Chiefs and Chargers. I wonder when they play each other this year.
Chiefs Chargers? I can
look Week 4.
Let me see. You looking it up?
Yeah. Chiefs Eagles.
Chiefs Chargers.
There's got to be I'm sure you're going to find it faster because I'm literally just going week to week.
September 26th. Oh, so it's coming up. September 26th. They're the 1 o'clock game.
Wait, that's...
Shoot, sorry. Yeah, no, wait.
Wait, what?
This week.
Is it? How did I miss that?
I don't know. It's saying they play each other then, and then they play each other again December 16th. I, for a second, thought we were in October, so that confused me.
Yeah. Is that what I did? Hold on.
Yeah, it says September 26th.
Wait a minute. Oh, I did say Chief Chargers, didn't I?
Yeah.
I meant Chiefs Raiders.
Oh, okay. My bad. Okay.
No, I know. That's my fault. I said Chiefs Chargers. I think I was looking at the Chiefs and Chargers. That's why, because it's this week. All right. So when you find
in December 12th.
December 12th?
November 14th.
November 14th. Okay, so that's the first matchup. I think that might be, and then that's obviously if they're still in contention, if they're still winning games, because there's a lot of football to be played from here on that. Let's see really quick. Herbert is going to be a star, I think, and I agree. I definitely think that's the case. All right, so let's go into our picks for next week. But I'm gonna preface this by talking really quick about the Thursday game with the Panthers and Texans. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I know you're very high on the Texans this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you remember a conversation that you and I had when I thought we were going to, but that was a 3-hour stream, so we didn't want to make it even longer. I wanted to talk about dark horse picks.
Right.
And one of the teams I brought up to you was the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I think this Panthers team is going to be good this year. They got a really good young team. And I think Darnold got a really bad rap in New York as a Jet. I really felt that they hung him out to dry. They gave him no help, either on the line or just he had no weapons. It was just a bad team. And now with the running game, like with in McCaffrey, who can also catch, by the way, and a defense that just stunned the shit out of the Saints. Like Saints came out of, Saints and Winston came out of a huge win, a 5-touchdown high, and Winston basically was old Jameis Winston, albeit it was one game. I'm not saying he's going to be like that for the rest of the season, but it was a big turn of events. So now we got the Panthers and Texans. And again, I know you're high. Now, how is Tyrod Taylor? Is he going to, he's out. That's right. Mills is going to be starting.
Yep.
Right.
It's funny because they were asked today during their media portion. They said, when they announced that Tyrod Taylor will not be playing this Thursday and it's unclear going forward, one of the reporters was just like, will Deshaun Watson be playing? And they were just like, no.
Yeah.
He's refusing to play.
Yeah.
So they're going to go with the kid. And again, remember, I prefaced this. I said this team will be good with Tyrod Taylor. If there's no Tyrod Taylor, of course I believe this team will crumble. But I was very high on Tyrod Taylor. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. He's been bouncing around. Obviously, we know what happened last year with the punctured.
That's a freak thing. Right? Yeah, that's a freak. Yeah, it was a punctured lung. It was a freak.
He lost his starting spot, and that's how we got Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So to me, and I remember I also prefaced the Panthers. Remember how I said I agree with you. They can be very successful if Darnold just hands the ball off. Let your running back, who I think can be the next LaDainian Tomlinson, give the ball to Christian McCaffrey, and you just let him carry you, and you just don't turn the ball over.
I agree.
That's it. That's literally as simple as it needs to be for that Panthers team.
No, that's a recipe for victory for Carolina. I agree. I agree. And, of course, obviously, when Tua went down with his injury, the chirping started again about how, is this the time maybe the Dolphins and Deshaun Watson or something like that? I was like, yeah, maybe. But, again, I don't know if the Texans are willing to part with him. I don't know.
Lose if you're not.
Yeah.
He won't go anywhere because he has a no trade clause. And he is clearly willing to just not play football.
He's sitting out. He's not going to play.
So all I'm saying is I called this before the season. I said if I was the Dolphins, I would have made this trade. I would have made this trade when it first came out.
I'm surprised they didn't. I honestly am surprised they didn't by now.
To me, I never bet on what can be. I am 100% okay with what is. A 25-year-old who can average you 5,000 yards a season.
Yep.
And again, I get it. If it wasn't for the whole what's going on in his personal life.
Right, but that has nothing to do with him on the field.
Right. Clearly, Bronco, there's probably like 80 teams that would have already made this trade.
Of course. Yeah.
But to me, if you're Miami, let's be real here. You're not winning the entire AFC.
No.
You're not even winning the AFC East.
Nope.
So it's like what are you trying to see what Tua can do? What are you trying to see? What are you trying to see that Bills loss did not teach you? You can't win your own division.
They got shut out.
They got completely shut out. And
it was 35-0.
Let's pretend Tua played the full game.
Right.
You weren't going to win. You know what I'm saying? So to me, make the call. Tell them they can have whatever they want on your roster, and you go get Deshaun Watson. Because again, I haven't heard anything recently about his off-field. So I don't know. Are they moving forward with it? Are these are people getting paid off behind the scenes? I don't know. But I told you, if worse comes to worse and he doesn't go to jail and all he has to miss is a season, 25, 26 years old.
Exactly.
Most people don't hit their prime till between 28 and 31.
Yeah.
I'm still making that trade.
Or if you're Tom Brady, 45.
That is the anomaly, right? But to me, if I'm Miami, I obviously can't make the trade now.
No.
But I told you, I would have made the call as soon as I heard on SportsCenter, Deshaun wants to play for us.
Yeah.
Made the call, gave them whatever they wanted, bring in Deshaun Watson.
Their loss. All right. Panthers and Texans. Without Tyrod Taylor. I'm going Panthers.
Okay.
I just feel like I've liked what they've shown. I know they're playing away, but I don't know. I can't go against the Panthers, and it's not only because they're 2-0, but just because of how they played, how that defense has stepped up. And I don't know much about Mills. I don't know what he can do as far as a starting quarterback. So I'm gonna go Panthers.
Is it at all possible that the kid is horrible and then Deshaun just comes in? he just walks in and just goes, all right, I'm gonna win this game for you guys. No? Okay. All right. I'm gonna go Panthers because like you, I am not familiar with the kid.
Yeah.
If Tyrod was playing, I would go Texans.
Yeah, and Robert agrees, Panthers. All right, moving along, the Washington football team, Buffalo Bills. I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. The top team is home or away?
I don't know. Let me see. I think
Oh,
Washington.
wait, no. I see the bottom team is away. I was reading it right. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. I just want to make sure because it says it right there, Orchard Park. All right. So, yeah. So the Washington football team at the Buffalo Bills. I just feel like because Washington, and again, I know they have a great defense, but because Washington almost lost to the Giants and not taking away anything from their offense, I just feel like the Bills, especially with Josh Allen and his weapons, and Singletary actually had a decent game too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they can. I don't know. I don't know if they can stop Buffalo. I'm going to take Buffalo in this one.
I'm only taking Buffalo because Tre'Davious White and Pryor are a great corner and safety mix. And anyone who knows football knows if your corners can make life uncomfortable for your receivers, it gives your front line even more time to put pressure on the quarterback. So yeah, I'm going Buffalo.
Right. And again, and I know Heineke had a great game against the Giants, whose defense is very questionable this year, especially their secondary. I know Bradbury got that interception, a very key interception that went nowhere. But this, it's a young quarterback, and he's going against the Bills team. I don't know. He's got to prove a little bit more. It's more than just one game. Yeah. All right. We got Bears at Browns. The Bears obviously coming off a big win, an upset win in my mind against the Bengals. Against a Browns team that's very, very good. And a Browns team that could nearly be even 2-0. They narrowly lost to the Chiefs. That was a close game. And
this week, though.
What?
They escaped this week.
Yeah, they did escape this week. So, and they're home. So I'm going to give the edge to the Browns. I don't want to be too quick to believe in this Bears team. So I'm going to go Browns.
I'm going Bears. No Odell, and apparently Jarvis Landry is day-to-day because of that knee. I'm going I'm going Bears. I think Bears can pull this out.
But Odell wasn't present in yesterday's game, was he?
No. I'm saying you still don't have Odell, and now you may not have Jarvis Landry.
Right.
And I don't even know. I haven't heard anyone talk really about Baker's health. He came out of the game. He obviously
he came back in, but you're right. He did get
It could be something lingering.
He got popped hard. I thought it was his ribs. I thought he hurt his ribs.
Yeah, so I'm not sure with that. So I'm going to go the Bears in a close one. I'm going to go the Bears.
All right. Got the Ravens at Lions. Now, the Lions haven't played their second game yet. They're playing today against Green Bay, which I don't see them winning that. There's no way. There's no way. What Rodgers has I just can't see Rodgers having back-to-back bad games. But against a Ravens team that's riding high, especially off a big win against the Chiefs, I know Detroit's home, but I'm going Ravens.
Yeah, I agree. Ravens.
All right. This is a good game. This is a very good game. Division rival. Colts 0-2, but played some close games against the Titans, who just upset the Vikings. So what do you got?
I'm not picking Colts.
Oh wait, not the Vikings. I'm sorry. The Cardinals beat the Vikings.
I know who you meant.
The Seahawks.
I'm not picking the Colts another game this season.
No.
Carson Wentz is on the injury report for his ankles.
Oh, okay. So
shaky injury-wise. So, no.
And especially, look, again, I know the Colts had a really good defense last year. They really haven't really shown much. I'm going to go I got to go with King Henry and Tannehill. Just, and I don't see them getting stopped again. I don't. Not by the Colts. All right. Chargers at Chiefs. This is the matchup that you mistake that I accidentally said. Yeah. Oh, hold on. All right. So Robert's riding one more week with the Colts. He's going to give them one more week. And he's also obviously taking the Ravens over the Lions. Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs are home. Tough stadium to play in if you're a visiting team. Obviously, the Chiefs aren't happy with that loss. I can see Mahomes going crazy in the air. And the Chargers, they lost a bad game to the Cowboys, a game that they could have won. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to give the edge to Chiefs just because they're home. I like Justin Herbert, and I want the Chargers to win. I do. But I gotta go Chiefs because they're home, and I can't see Mahomes losing back-to-back games. I really can't.
I'm going Herbert. I see Herbert bouncing back, and I like the way that he played his divisional opponents last year.
Mm-hmm.
He played them all really close. I think they took one from the Chiefs last year. I could be mistaken.
You might be right.
Yeah, but I know those games are definitely close. So I'm going Justin Herbert. I'm saying Herbert splits the season series against the Chiefs. So
Okay.
they take this one, and then they probably lose theirs at home.
All right, this one you're gonna like. Saints at Patriots. I'm gonna go Pats. I'm gonna go Pats because I don't know which Winston you're gonna get. And I know the Saints defense is also. It's not as bad. I'm gonna go Patriots, especially because they're home in Foxborough. I'm gonna go Pats.
I'm going Saints. I don't know what Josh McDaniels and Bill are doing with Mac Jones, but they have training wheels on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. They do.
Literally, they go every game. You can only throw 5 yards. Don't even think deeper. And apparently, according to the announcer in yesterday's game, on the trick play that they ran, where James White ran out and then threw it back to Mac Jones, Nelson Aguilar was wide open for a touchdown, and he didn't even look that deep. He didn't even look. So to me, I think Jameis Winston comes out, has a big game. And New England still without Stephon Gilmore. At some point, that's going to really bite them.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah,
I think it can be this week against the Saints, and then they got to come back the week after against Brady. So whether it's this week or next week, someone's eating up these corners. So I'm going Saints.
Okay. All right. And Robert agrees with you on that. All right. Falcons at Giants, both 0-2 teams. Falcons almost made a comeback against the Bucs, but Mike Edwards, 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter.
Just how he got them is just like, man, if you're the Falcons, you just got to be like, I don't know what Matt Ryan.
Do you remember last year? But do you remember exactly how many games did they had a multiple point lead going into the fourth quarter, and they just can't close the game out? I mean, look what they did in the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Oh, I remember.
I just feel, honestly, I feel bad for Matt Ryan because I know Matt Ryan is a talented quarterback. I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the thing is, and I just feel like the Giants are home. They played very, very good on the offensive side of the ball in a loss, and I'm just hoping it's trending in that direction. So I'm gonna go Giants.
Giants and Falcons, huh? You know
both teams that just have you know what it is? I know the Falcons are playing the Buccaneers, but it's like they have the victory in front of them and they don't know how to take it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to take it.
I'm gonna say this. Daniel Jones did help get that team to almost 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen enough games of Daniel Jones being able to get into a shootout. I think the Falcons get hot early.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like that Buccaneers game where he threw for 500 yards. He can do it. It's just not something I see him do often. So I'm going to go Matt Ryan and the Falcons get this win. Because at least I believe if they get a lead, I don't know if Daniel Jones can get into a shootout with Matt Ryan.
No, and I agree because if you take away those 2 turnovers, those 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter, the Falcons came back. You know, they clawed their way back. So if they start that game out against the Giants in that way,
mm-hmm.
You're right with I don't know how the Giants come back from a deficit. I don't like their chances in a deficit. If their defense can hold and the Giants could put up numbers, maybe, but I agree with you on that. I just don't know. And the other thing is too, it is against the Washington football team. And before that game, Daniel Jones was 4-0 against the Washington football team. He just plays well against that team. And then he just never shows up for other games. So
he won that Washington game.
Yeah.
Yeah. He won that game technically. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The last shootout he got into was against Winston. So I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going Falcons.
All right. Now Bengals at Steelers. Both I don't know how to call this because the Steelers have no offense. They really don't. They just don't, they don't have an offense. And they have a defense. That's what's pretty much won the game for them in the first game against the Bills. And the Bengals offense, look, I know the Steelers are playing at home and they have a formidable defense. And if the Bengals were shaking up the way they were yesterday. I don't know what the Steelers defense can do to rattle Burrow, and that Bengals offense. So,
well, I'm also going to throw this out to you. Watt is apparently suffering from a groin injury.
oh,
I don't know if that's a lasting injury that will keep him out this week, but
right.
he did get a groin injury yesterday, or aggravated groin injury yesterday.
All right, you know what? I'm going to go Bengals only because I'm surprised that Joe Burrow and the Bengals lost that game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see that offense not clicking twice in a row.
Right.
And if TJ Watt is suffering from an injury, whether he's going to play or not, and he's not going to be 100%, that could be a deciding factor. I'm not saying that the rest of the defense isn't a formidable, defense, but
I think if Fitzpatrick back there is a problem.
I'll go Bengals then.
You almost talked me into the Bengals. I don't know. It's really hard to believe. I've seen that Bengals defense. It's really hard to believe Big Ben won't have at least 4 touchdowns in this game. I'm going to go Steelers just off the fact that I think it's more likely Big Ben has a rebound game
than Joe Burrow.
Okay. I don't like the Steelers long term this year over the Bengals, but just this head to head, I'm gonna go Steelers in a tight one against.
All right. Cardinals at Jaguars. Now the Jaguars showed a little more bite in yesterday's game, but Trevor Lawrence so far hasn't had a good start. And I mean, we just spoke about this Cardinals team. I think whether home or away, that defense is too good. And you can't sleep on the offensive Kyler Murray. So I'm easily going Cardinals in this one.
Who do they play again? You said
the Vikings. Oh, the Jaguars.
Oh, they play the Cardinals.
Well, the Cardinals play the Jaguars.
Yeah, Cardinals by 100 points if that's possible.
Yeah, easily. So Robert said Steelers blow home or not, and I agree. And Cardinals. All right, Jets at Broncos. Now, after saying that Zach Wilson looked pretty good later on in the game against the not the Saints, the Panthers. They play the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
They lost obviously both games, but Zach Wilson and the Jets just that's Jets. That's Jets football right now. Is that that turn of events. And now you're playing away, you're playing in Denver, and you're playing against the 2-0 Broncos, who seem to be a legit team. And Teddy Bridgewater, proven he's another name not to go off the radar. And I'm going Broncos.
Same Broncos. I mean, Zach Wilson had some astonishing turnovers against New England yesterday. I mean, turnovers to where it was just like,
they were bad.
Trying to throw to us?
They were bad. They were really bad.
Yeah, no way the Broncos don't take advantage of that again. I mean, advantage of that.
Yeah.
Rather.
All right, now you got the Dolphins, who we were just talking about, obviously minus Tua, against the 2-0 Raiders, who are riding high and now are at home. I'm going to put you down for Raiders.
Put me down for Raiders, 100%. 100. And again, we don't know that he won't play.
Right. Honestly, I don't think it matters. I don't need whether it's Brissett or Tua. I really don't think it matters.
Yep.
I don't. This is a good game. This is probably one of my games of the week. Well, on paper. Sometimes games of the week turn out to be fucking just blowouts.
I feel like I know where you're going.
I mean, yeah, this is the only one that's Buccaneers at Rams. I mean, both teams are 2-0. Both quarterbacks so far. I mean, I know Stafford had the pick in yesterday's game, but Cooper Kupp was, well, I think 9. What did he have? Like 182 yards or something like that on like 9 receptions. So I think Stafford found one of his new favorite targets in Cooper Kupp. And I think Goff was also loved Cooper Kupp as well. But
yeah, he did.
And against that Buccaneers, I mean, Brady lit it up for 5 touchdowns. It was just like I said. I know the Falcons at one point made it a game, but at the end of the day, it literally looks like a rout on paper. And I know a lot of that happened because of Mike Edwards in the defense. But This is a good game, and this is a tough one. I know the Rams are playing at home, and I told you I praise Stafford. I have for years. And this offense, the Buccaneers, although they're scoring, they're also allowing too. That defense isn't really showing what it did the latter part of last season, especially in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So I don't know what to make of it. And that Rams offense is very dangerous. And it's almost like they have no fear too. But my motto is I'm not gonna uncrown the champs until they're uncrowned. I'm not gonna dethrone them until they're dethroned. They are the defending champions, and they are still playing pretty well. So that being said, I know the Rams are at home, and I wouldn't mind Stafford pulling a win out, but I'm gonna go Bucs only because, like I said, they're the defending champions and they haven't lost yet. So until they show otherwise, and as much as I love Stafford and that Rams offense, I'm gonna go Bucs. What do you got?
I'm going Rams. The Rams are going to work Jalen Ramsey between Godwin and Mike Evans. And I haven't seen many people have career days on Jalen Ramsey. So I could 100% see Jalen Ramsey making it very uncomfortable for Brady.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Brady says Antonio Brown, Gronk, OJ Howard,
Godwin.
Well, no, I'm saying I think Godwin will kind of be either Godwin or Mike Evans will be snuffed.
Oh, okay, yeah, and Mike Evans, yeah,
right. So one of them will be snuffed by Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
I'm going Rams. I do think Matt Stafford is a guy that can obviously go into a shootout, a guy that can make a little bit smarter decisions than Matt Ryan made last week.
Oh yeah.
And again, I think we're forgetting a guy named Aaron Donald still lives and breathes.
Oh, I'm not forgetting him. Trust me. I know. Well, I'm well aware. And like I said, if this was honestly, if this was any other game, if any other team, maybe minus the Chiefs, but any other team going head to head with them right now, including the Packers, I'd go Rams. I would. Even though I know, like I said, I feel like that Packers game against the Saints was an anomaly, and I feel like Rodgers is going to have a good season, and I think the Packers are going to be fine. But what that offense have shown, and like you said, you're right, it's not Matt Ryan and the Falcons. This is a completely different animal, and they got the defense to back it up. I agree, but I'm only going to go solely based on the fact that, like I said, they are the defending champions, and before I take away their crown just yet, I'm gonna go with them. Just one more week. And I would just want to see what the Rams can do. Because like I said, it's a young season. It's only 2 games in.
Okay.
But I agree with you. I do. All right. Seahawks at Vikings. I'm going to go Dalvin Cook. He woke up. He did. Him and King Henry both had huge games on the ground for their teams yesterday. But I just don't. I'm going to go Seattle.
Same here. Put me down too.
I can't trust them. They're 0-2. I can't, and they're beating themselves more than the other, the opponents are. So I just, at this point, even if they are home. All right. Packers at 49ers. The 49ers are being, they're a little, they're surprising. They are. I'm not saying that they're going to beat the Packers. I don't think that, but look, they're 2-0. I don't know what to make of it. I know their defense is a lot better than it was last year. And like we even said before the season started, a lot of that had to do with injuries. I mean, almost the whole defense was on the injury list last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that being said, and I know they're playing at home, I said I don't think that game against the Saints is any indication of what this Packers team is going to be this year. I just hope it was just a rusty one-off thing, and I think the Packers are going to be fine. I'm going to go Packers. I know they're playing in San Fran, but I'm going to go Packers.
Packers. I'm right with you. Packers.
All right, last but not least, Eagles at Cowboys for next Monday night's matchup. Division rival. This is a good one because both teams are 1-1. Mm-hmm. Both teams played I think the Cowboys played even better in their loss against the Bucs than they did in their win against the Chargers. And the Eagles obviously lost to the 49ers yesterday. What was the score? Like 14-11 or something like that? It was a weird score.
Yeah, it was 14-11.
I'm going to go. They're playing in Dallas. I think the Cowboys are the better team. I think the Cowboys are probably going to end up winning the division. I'm going to go Cowboys.
My heart and my mind are telling me Dallas, but I'm not giving up on Jalen yet. I'm going Eagles. I'm going Eagles. I think because it's a division game, it'll be close, and I think Jalen Hurts can pull out the victory.
Oh, we will see, and that should be a good game. At least that's going to be a good game. I'll watch it tonight. The Packers and Lions. I know it's a division rival. It's one of the oldest rivalries in football. If it's not is it the Packers and Lions or the Lions and Bears? Can't remember which one was the division.
No, Packers and Bears, because Packers is one of like the super OG teams.
Right. It's the Packers and Bears?
Yeah.
Okay. I know one of them is the division, the longest division rivals, but
I think Packers and Bears.
Either way, I know it's a division rival game, but I really have no interest in the Packers versus Lions tonight. But next Monday should be a good game. It should. All right, guys. Well, that being said, I want to thank everybody that did join in. Robert obviously giving us most of his picks. My boy Moondog, my boy James from Moondog Entertainment popped in, and even Mic'd Up Sports joined in and said, "We want Mike. We want Mike." So yeah. Jawan, obviously, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I enjoy talking about football, and I am toying around with different formats. We can keep going it this way, or we just talk about football and just leave it at that. No picks, no games of the week, just talk about football. But either way, I think I like this setup for now. And again, can't say any more than we did about this weekend, because the football games that we got yesterday. I hope the rest of the season's like that. We got a lot of nail biters, a lot of close ones. I want to see less blowouts, unless it's my team. Unless it's my team, because I'm going to tell you, even if the Giants would have pulled that win off, I can't stand games like that. Oh, I hate them. I was just like, can't you just win convincingly once? Just once.
We're never that lucky, man. It never works out like that, ever.
It never does. It never does. But all right. Again, thank you, Jawan, for coming on. I'll see you next Monday. And guys, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And obviously tune in for next Monday episode of Monday Morning Quarterback. Guys, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you soon. Let's go Giants.